One of the most inspirational things I think about Heroes is that what they're doing with the horses and the calmness and the rehabilitation and the retraining they do, and actually to link that with the students is genius, and they become sort of enmeshed and the emotions are reflected back at the students by the horses. The thoroughbreds are just amazing at doing that. We have children that come here that have never seen a horse, let alone ridden one. The effect it has on those students when they ride a horse for the first time it's immeasurable how amazing that is. For students, particularly those at secondary school, they come here and they really get away from peer pressure. They can just be themselves, and that's the idea, is just for them to be themselves and to find their authentic self.
We rehabilitate horses here. They go from their rehab, then they go to Becky, who does the lunging and the work, and then they move on to us where we train them and find them the perfect home. I just love the outcome you get from when you first start and they've got their heads up and not really sure what to do, to the horse that you send away to a new home going nicely and looking good. The progress students make is incredible, and actually the horses really bring out the good side in them. You can sometimes have a student come really quiet and 3 weeks later you'd wonder if it was the same student because they're so loud. It's amazing that they've involved the horses and the students, and actually now we've got the forest school. It is just brilliant how much the Heroes can offer to horses and humans.
Essentially, we're trying to reconnect the students with nature. They need to protect the environment across the world, and if they have a love for that environment, then they hopefully in the future will take more of an interest in preserving it. That can be as small as one individual woodland setting we've got here, or it could be a much broader sense across the world. When we start, initially Forest School will be aimed at 11 to 16-year-olds, typically children who are not suited to mainstream education for whatever reason. You don't need to know anything about nature, you don't need to have experienced it before. I genuinely believe anybody can find a connection with nature when they come to woods, especially like this, as something as beautiful as this.
The horses are just magic. They can sense if somebody's having a good day, they can sense if somebody's having a bad day, and they're just intuitively positive around their students.
Seeing the horses come in and they can be quite anxious and agitated, seeing them let down and just become happy, healthy horses that then go on to loving homes where they're somebody's everything, I wouldn't want to do anything else. It's hard to put into words what this place does for both people and horses.
I'm a level 2 apprentice and I learn about all the retraining and rehab of the horses. The horse and the people get a lot out of it.
What do you hope to get out of the apprenticeship?
Just having the knowledge to take it elsewhere if I ever leave, which I don't think I will.
Working with the tandem of human and horse is a really important element. Being able to make an impact on the next generation of horse trainers.
Wow, what a journey I've lived through Heroes. My God, some of the things that I've done through my Heroes journey I could only imagine could happen, and it's just getting more exciting by the year. I started Heroes in 2006, following the fact that I'd worked with thoroughbred horses all my life and I knew that they had a real good job to do. I'd been for a meeting about setting up a charity, and I thought, I know what, if I start a charity, I'm going to call it Heroes. And that stood for Homing Ex-Racehorses Organisation Scheme, and I didn't know till probably 10 years later that I'd spelt Heroes wrong. But actually, it is the most exciting roller coaster I've ever been on. I can talk with passion about it because it is so easy, because what it does for horses and human beings is beyond belief. It does what it says on the tin, and all the money goes back into changing lives. My hopes are that we can expand the horse programme to educate people so more people out there can have thoroughbreds. I also hope to make our education enrichment programme very rounded and full and help as many children in our locality as we can. And longer term, roll out Heroes to run our programme across the whole of the UK. I would like the future Heroes to educate everyone from 11-year-olds and upwards, help people with mental health issues to come to a safe place to think and grow. I'd like people to meet their dreams by being here and us opening doors, and to help the racing industry to get more workers, because there's so many jobs out there, and the horses to have primarily a safe place to go after racing. Of course, I couldn't run Heroes without the fantastic team that I have, who not only give it their life and soul, they back me 100% with my crazy ideas that I come up with on a daily basis. Thank you to them all, because without them, we wouldn't even begin to survive and do all the things that we do so well. Thank you to everybody that has put money into Heroes over the last 17 years. Because without you, we wouldn't be where we are now. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart the chance you're giving the horses and the children and everybody that work here to make a real difference in this really hard world we live in.